Are you ready for a new adventure? Time to travel back in time, let's go! Are you ready for a new adventure? Let's learn about the past with Anna and Leo.
Hi friends! Welcome to Unlock This, a podcast from Honest History, where we join our friends Anna, Leo, and Percy on adventures through time and uncover some really cool stories along the way. My name is William. I'm 6 years old, and I love learning about history, especially new stories that I don't hear about in school. I can't wait for today's story, and I think you're gonna love it too. So let's dive in.
I'm really excited about this next adventure, Leo.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Because our friend Maya's going to join us.
Oh, great! You told her about the museum vault?
I've explained everything to her, so she's prepared. And there she is! Hi, Maya!
Hi, Leo. Hi, Anna. I'm excited for this experiment.
Me too! Let's go inside and find Percy.
So, let me see if I've got this right. Percy is going to let us into the museum vault, and then we'll find an object?
Yeah, that's right.
And then, when we touch that object, we somehow travel to another place?
Yup.
I really have to see this for myself. I've brought a notepad to write down all my observations. I want to understand how this works.
Maya is a scientist.
I remember she's helped me with a lot of my science experiments at school.
Oh, and there's Percy!
He's already got the keys to unlock the vault door.
Percy, we're ready when you are.
Maya, welcome to the vault.
Oh my! This is so much bigger than I imagined. You could probably fit 4 airplanes in here.
Yes, and on every shelf, drawer, and cabinet you see is filled with objects from history.
Wow, there is so much. Where do we start?
You can tell Percy something you want to learn about, and then he'll help us find what we're looking for.
Okay, let me think. There's so many amazing inventors and scientists from history I'd love to learn about. I don't even know where to start.
Oh, don't worry. Remember, you can always come back.
Percy said you're welcome anytime.
Well, there is something I've always been curious about, but how are you with smells?
What do you mean?
Well, there's an event I want to learn about, but it may be very, stinky.
If there's no battles, I'm happy.
Bring on the stinky.
Okay then, Percy, can you find something about the Great Stink?
Let's follow him.
I think he wants us to open that drawer.
I'll open it.
What's inside?
Whoa, it has a bunch of folders filled with papers. Should I look through them?
Percy says yes.
This drawing is interesting. It kind of looks like a map.
Let me see. Yeah, I think this is a map. Those lines look like roads and that... Yeah, what's that big twisty line going through the middle?
I think that's supposed to be a river. And look, all those other lines are labeled sewer. I wonder what that means.
Whoa. Okay, I'm
ready, Maya. We're about to travel.
Wait, really? Where's my notepad? I need to take notes.
No time for notes. We're here.
That was so fast.
Where are we?
I think we're in a city. Look at all those big brick buildings. Maya, do you know where this is?
It definitely doesn't feel like home. Look, there are horses pulling carriages on the streets.
Oh, Maya, did you say it might be stinky?
I sure did. Whew, wow, did you smell that?
Percy, cover your nose.
Ooh, what is that smell?
Ooh, it's coming from the river over there.
You're right, and it gets worse as we walk closer to it.
I think I'm gonna be sick. I can't go any further.
Me neither. Here, let me check my backpack. I think it might have something to help. Aha! How about this?
Is that a small fan? You had that in your backpack?
Yeah, I packed it in case we travel somewhere hot, but it will also help blow the smell away from us.
Great thinking, Leo.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Let's turn it on.
Well, the fan helps a little bit, but let's be honest. It's gonna take a lot more than a fan to get rid of that smell.
You're right, Anna. It's going to take a lot more. And guess what?
What?
I just figured out where we are.
Where?
We're in London, England, and it must be sometime in the 1800s. This, my friends, is the Great Stink.
Great steak is right, yeah, it smells pretty bad.
Why does it smell so bad?
Well, that river over there is called Thames, and it is filled with all sorts of things that you wouldn't want in a river. Basically, everything you flush down the toilet is out there in that river.
So it's filled with...
Poop?
Yep, along with just about anything else you can think of. Waste from animals, hospitals, butchers, fish makers, and factories is all flowing into that river. You can really notice it on a warm day like today. The sun is heating up all that waste, and that is making everything extra stinky.
I hope there aren't any fish in that river.
You wouldn't want to swim in that.
The thing is, people bathed in that river water, and some of them drank that water.
What? You're telling me that people drank that stinky water?
Yes, and it made a lot of people very, very sick. It seems obvious to us now, but in the 1800s, they didn't know a lot of things that we know today. For years, people were coming down with horrible illnesses, but they weren't quite sure why. One of these illnesses was called cholera.
Whoa, was it deadly?
Yes! In 1854, about 600 people died from cholera in just 1 week, and doctors had no idea why people were getting so sick.
I'm thinking it had something to do with that dirty water.
It did, but it took one person, a physician, to finally figure it out. That physician's name was John Snow.
The most terrible outbreak of cholera took place in Broad Street, Golden Square, and the adjoining streets a few weeks ago.
How did he figure it out?
He suspected the bad water might be the reason why people were getting sick, but other scientists thought his idea was wrong. You see, at the time, people didn't think cholera spread that way. Doctors thought people were just catching illness in the air and not the water.
So to get people to listen to him, he had to prove his idea was right.
Yes, he had to conduct an experiment.
Oh, what kind of experiment?
He made a map. On this map, he wrote down everywhere people were getting sick. When he finished, he looked at the map and noticed something.
I found that nearly all of the deaths had taken place within a short distance of the pump.
Most of the people who got sick lived near a certain water pump.
A pump? Like that one over there?
Yes, you can see someone getting water out of it and filling up the bucket. That's how a lot of people got their water. Most people didn't have plumbing in their homes.
So Jon Snow showed his map to the other doctors.
First, he spoke to relatives and friends of the people who got sick to make sure they had used the pump. That was important to do. It showed that everyone who got sick had access to the same water pump. He didn't stop there. He kept investigating. And he found all sorts of cases. People were getting sick at restaurants and factories and prisons where people had drunk the same contaminated water.
Oh, wow. So this was a big problem.
A huge problem. Many people were dying from this water.
People and animals, I'm sure.
To test his theory, Snow removed the handle from the water pump so people wouldn't use it. After that, fewer people died. This helped him prove that the water was making people sick.
Hi friends, are you enjoying today's episode? I'd like to take a quick break from the story to tell you about another great place to learn about the past. Honest History creates magazines and books for kids that are filled with fun stories and activities that bring history to life. From pirates to spies to great inventions and so much more, you'll learn about interesting people, places, and events from around the world that made history. Created for kids ages 6 through 12, you can sign up and receive new adventures delivered straight to your doorstep every quarter. Just visit honesthistory.co. That's honesthistory.co to sign up today. Oh, and here's a special offer for our podcast listeners. Use code UNLOCKTHIS for 10% off. Again, that special code is UNLOCKTHIS. Okay, let's get back to the story.
So, after Jon Snow figured out the water was bad, what did he do? Did someone try to fix the problem?
Well, it's funny you ask. Do you see those carts over there by the river?
It looks like people are using them to dump stuff into the river. What's inside those carts?
Those carts over there are filled with a chemical called chloride of lime. The government thought putting lime into the river would help get rid of the smell. But it didn't work. Also, chloride of lime is poisonous.
So they were just making the water even more toxic?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, please tell me they tried something else.
Well, it wasn't going to be an easy fix. To really get rid of the problem, they needed to clean the river, and that involved building a whole new sewage system.
Maya, I'm not really sure how a sewage system works. Can you explain it?
Of course. When you flush the toilet, all that dirty water goes into the pipes underground. Those underground pipes, called sewers, take the dirty water to a place where it can be cleaned.
And they didn't have it in the 1800s? How did people get rid of their poop?
They dumped it into pits in the ground. Men would then come, shovel up the waste, and sell it to farmers as fertilizer. This system worked when there weren't that many people in London. But as the population grew, there was a lot more waste. The pits would overflow and waste would run off into the streets. Eventually, a lot of that poop would end up in the river.
Ew.
Ah, so they needed to build a system to move the poop away from the river.
Exactly. And they needed to do it soon. In 1858, the smell was so bad that people wouldn't even leave their homes.
I guess that explains why there aren't many people around.
But I do see one group of people over there. Do you see them? They look like they're taking notes.
I recognize one of those people. That man in the front, that's Joseph Bazalgette.
Who's that?
He's the person that put an end to the great stink.
How?
When the stench of Thames became too much, the government finally decided to do something. They hired an engineer to design a new sewage system. That's him, the engineer, Joseph Bazalgette. He must be drawing up his plans for the system now, and those other people must be part of his team.
Gentlemen, take a look at these drains here. We will need to design something much larger.
How did he fix the sewage system?
He designed a network of underground sewers. All the dirty water would collect in these sewers and be pumped into part of the river east of the city. And from there, the waste would flow out into the sea. He also built several treatment stations that helped clean the water.
So all that waste wouldn't just collect in the river anymore?
Yes, it took years to build all those sewers, and it cost a lot of money. But once the new sewage system was ready, the river became clean again. Less people were getting sick, and that horrible, nasty smell was gone.
Thank goodness.
Joseph also did something very clever. He decided to make the pipes a lot bigger than he needed to, just in case.
We're only going to do this once, and there's always the unforeseen.
And it's a good thing he did, because London was going to need bigger pipes in the future. In fact, he designed such a good sewage system that it's still in use today.
So that would make it, let me think, over 150 years old?
That's right. And Anna, you'll be happy to know that there are now plenty of fish in the River of Thames.
Hooray!
Okay, I'm just thinking here. You said he designed a network of sewers underneath the city. Would you say his designs looked kind of like a map?
I know what you're thinking, Leo.
Yes, it would look like a map. Hey, that document we found in the vault, was that?
Bazalgette's map of the sewer system.
It sure was.
Oh dear, I'm feeling dizzy. Are we traveling again?
Oh, I think so.
We'll be in the museum soon.
We're back in the vault. And I can breathe again. No more smell.
Yeah, I guess they didn't call it the Great Stink for nothing. Ew.
Oh, I have a whole new appreciation for sewers.
Me too. Thank you, Joseph Bazalgette.
Oh yes, and Jon Snow too. His experiment showed how important it is to have clean water. And thanks for teaching us all about the Great Stink, Maya.
Thanks for inviting me. Wow, I'm never gonna forget this adventure.
I think our noses are never gonna forget this adventure.
Welcome back. That sure was a great adventure. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna tell all my friends about this amazing story. That's all for now. But if you want to learn more, be sure to check out my favorite magazine for kids, Honest History. There's a ton of stuff to learn in each issue, and I love the fun activities and questions. Bye! This episode was narrated by Nikki and JoAnn Schinderle and written by Heidi Coburn. The production was read by Robot Pirate Media. To learn more about Honest History, visit us at honesthistory.co and follow for updates on social media.